Alright guys, so I finally got the digital instrument cluster by CaRobotor. So this is designed for, they make many different varieties, a lot for Jeeps and the patrol vehicles. So the Nissan Pathfinder, the patrol in Japan, also the QX80. So comes complete in a box, well padded, ships pretty quickly from Hong Kong. This is a company based in Canada, by the way. So I'm gonna walk you through on how to do this. It's relatively pretty simple, but you know, we'll do this together and see what happens. All right, so this is basically the instructions for how to install your digital dash system. Now, in the past, I did a video on how to upgrade your CarPlay, or how to upgrade to CarPlay in your car and keeping all the original equipment. And you know, that was a lot more intensive. That required replacing all of this, moving all this stuff out, taking off these panels. To do your digital instrument cluster, it's actually a lot more straightforward than you would think. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to have to lower this steering column out of the way. So you're going to want to just get it as far away as possible, so you have as much room to work with. All right. So the other thing is, you might want to get yourself some pry tools, because these things are held in by tension clips, and you might be able to just pull it away. But if you can't, and you don't want to break it, obviously. See, it's it's tight. All right, I'm back. So just FYI, these ones up here are really hard to get out. You really have to tug at them. It'll feel like you're breaking them. Just a word of advice, you're gonna wanna have to unclip this part down here. I know it's very hard to see, but you're gonna wanna unclip this a little bit, because there's a little lip here. Once you do, you can slip this thing out. So as you can see, there's just these tension clips here and here, and they go into the corresponding holes. All right, keep in mind, there's these little wires back here and back here. It's hard to see. There's one right there, and there's one right there. So you don't want to just yank this out. And also keep in mind, you have your start button, ignition button here. So there's some wires that you're gonna have to disconnect. So let's get them disconnected and we'll move on to the next step. All right, so I found something very interesting out, that really the only cable I really had to worry about disconnecting was the one on the left, because the one on the right has like all these connectors on down here for the ignition and everything. And then there's a little pigtail that goes up to the button on the right-hand side of your dash here. And so I decided that I'm like, you know what, this is not coming out very easily. I couldn't see where to release these. So I just pivoted. You can see this. I just pivoted the whole entire unit off carefully and just set it to the side and having it rest down here. Now you don't want to put too much weight and pressure on that, but I think for the time being, I think it's going to be okay. Just be careful not to yank on this, because you don't want these wires to come out or be pulled. All right, so now we just have to remove the 4 screws here, 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 and here. All right? All right, so I got the 4 screws out. Just make sure you carefully remove them. You don't want them dropping. Then I automatically disconnected this clip. There's only one clip holding this, connecting the instrument cluster in here. You're just gonna wanna kinda snake this out carefully, like this, without scratching anything. And there's your old instrument cluster. So let's take a look at this real quick. So, sorry for the shaky camera. So there's one connector in the back that's connecting this right here. If I go a little wider, you can kind of see there's a diagnostic port here. And that's pretty much it. It's kind of bare back here. And even inside here, you can see there's the one clip. Just some word of advice. The tab, this little thing I was trying to push on, doesn't do anything, you need to push on this little tab right here. And if it's hard to get to, just get like a little screwdriver and push against this tab with pressure and lift up at the same time, and it should come right out. That was a tough one to get out. So now let's go and find our new instrument cluster. And I'll show you how that looks and what's in the box. All right, so I'm gonna open the box. Kind of gives you the instruction manual, which you should read if this is your first time doing something like this. Some foam padding, put that to the side there. All right, so what you get presented to you is this very important cable. Now this looks complicated, but to be fair, this is gonna be a one-time use cable. This is your sync cable. So what happens is that you're gonna connect one of these cables to the unit itself. You're gonna turn the car on, let it boot up, and this one goes to your actual car. The other side of the sync cable is gonna go to your existing instrument cluster. When it boots up, it'll tell you, let's sync. You'll connect your old instrument cluster and it'll automatically start syncing the data from your old instrument cluster to your new one. This way your mileage and all your information from your car is synced over. Very important cable. Another cable is, this is the data cable. So this I would definitely probably hook up to your system, because you don't want to you don't want to have to rip your instrument cluster out to receive updates. So this is just a USB cable. I'm going to route this probably behind the dash, probably down by the foot pedal, secured somewhere where I can easily access it. Now this, I don't know exactly why I need to have this, but I'm pretty sure that this is probably there's probably a good reason why they're giving you extra buttons specifically for this unit. So I'm going to replace the buttons that are currently on my bezel with these buttons right here. And then underneath of this little chunky foam piece is the actual unit. So we're going to take this out. And it's a little heavy, so I'm gonna put the camera down for a second, take it out, and I'm gonna kind of give you an idea what it looks like. All right, so here's a little in-depth look of what it looks like. You have your indicator bar up here for your icons. You have your temperature, engine, and then your fuel gauge on this side. And these are just LED based. And then you have a beautiful IPS panel for the center. And then on the back, you pretty much have the same kind of nuances as the stock one. You have a couple extra inputs for those USB controls, and then the main connector for the car. It even looks like there's like a little tiny speaker in there too. But just to be fair, this thing is very heavy. So there's a lot that goes into this. So let's go pop it in and see what happens. All right, so here's a moment of truth. We're gonna use a sync cable. We're gonna connect the sync cable up to this bad boy right here. And I think that's the wrong way. There's only one way you can plug this into. So we'll plug that in there. That's in. And then it doesn't matter, any one of these can go plugging into here. It's in. And now, I'm going to turn this around so we can kind of see it, which is great. You can do this outside of the car. Now we're going to turn the accessories on, which we left the power button. There it goes. It's turning on for the first time. Woohoo! There we are. Has a beautiful infinity on there. So tire pressure, all that fun stuff has to be programmed. So now, the next thing we have to do is we have to sync it. So, let me show you how to do that. All right, so I'm just gonna hook up the sync cable now. Just FYI, before you plug the sync cable in, make sure you program or set your new digital instrument cluster to miles versus kilometers. Now, I forgot to do that, so I actually had to contact the company and they had to send me a new mileage file. so I could sync it to the system, which is just a file on a USB drive. Like I put it on a USB drive, I connect it to the unit, and it automatically downloads the new mileage update. So if you do enter your mileage wrong or something goes wrong with this syncing process, there is a way to fix it. You just have to contact them. There is no factory reset, or there's nothing that you can do. So my word of advice is, when you do this syncing process, make sure you set your digital display to miles first, because all it's doing is taking a value from your old instrument cluster and putting it into the new, and by default it comes from the factory as kilometers. So it'd be, say you have 100,000 miles, it would be 100,000 kilometers. Now obviously when you change it to miles, the conversion would be wrong. So after you're done, it will reboot, and then you're good to go, and you can just disconnect it, the sync cable, and then you can connect the main wiring harness to the car, and you're good to go. It's just really that simple. Oh, just a small update on this control button thing that I was talking about earlier. So yeah, we definitely have to use the new one, because the connector that's supplied with this unit to do software updates only fits this particular one. It does not fit in the OEM one. So yes, we're definitely going to be using the new one. All right, so I just got it installed. I'm going to put the 4 screws back in. There's one there, at each corner, there and there. This is the one connector that goes to the connector over here. So I'm just going to get these all screwed in, and then I'll kind of show you what it's all about. Just going to kind of give you an idea of what this looks like. So I decided to keep the OEM buttons. So remember how I showed you in the video where there were these extra set of buttons they give you? You can install them and use them if you want to keep the USB connectivity. I didn't want to run it down to the bottom here or anywhere down here. The only time you would need to use that USB input is if you had an update. And honestly, to open this up and to plug it in and everything, it's not that hard. It could take me 15 minutes to open it up. I don't think there's going to be a lot of updates that are necessary for this, but if there are, then maybe I will add it later. But for now, I just kept the OEM ones just to keep it simple. So when you get in the car, or when you're unlocking the car, there is that indicator saying that there is an alarm on. Just some insight before we even get started. And this does say it on the website. They label it wrong. They say it's plow mode, but it's tow mode. So if you have certain controls down here in the US market, there's snow mode and tow mode. Now, on the old instrument cluster, if you hit tow mode, it would light up tow, and if you had snow mode, it would show up a snowflake. On this instrument cluster, they don't have those indicators, but they do still work. It's not just the instrument cluster just lights up a light. But if you hit tow mode, it's on, but you're not going to see that it's on. Might be annoying for some people, but it still works functionality wise. Same with snow mode. When you depress it, the button's depressed in. Snow mode is working. You just don't see a little snowflake on your dash. They just did not include that in the software. So I'm going to hit start. So just like you normally do, you just hit brake pedal and start, and I'll show you what the startup looks like. All right, so the dash is coming alive. Looks beautiful, has a nice little fire animation, and then boots up. It's pretty quick, actually. All right, so here's just kind of a quick demo of what the interface looks like. So on the side, on the left, you can still adjust, obviously, the brightness and dimming of your display. And then just like the top button, you can still like hit the reset and go through your A and B travel indicator. They're just in different spots. And then on this side, when you hit the button, the top button, there's an A and B button. You can go through the different modes. So they have like this like Nismo inspired mode. You can change like the auto, 4 low, 4 high indicators. So everything like in terms of visuals, they all work, which is kind of cool. And then it shows you the tire pressure, which is a very detailed tire pressure when you're driving. Right now I'm stopped, so you're not going to see any indicators for the values. This is the off-terrain mode, which is kind of cool. So it shows you the incline, tilt, like the rotation, which is kind of nice. So when you put the car, and these are not just visuals just to show you kind of like, oh, you got 4 tires. When you put it, for example, like in a drivetrain, like a reverse or drive, the tires light up. So I'm putting it into reverse, and the rear axles illuminate because it knows you're using those particular tires. And then if you put it into like 4 wheels, it shows you the 4-wheel drive mode and so on. So it's actually kind of cool that it gives you real-time data that normally like a normal instrument cluster just wouldn't have. I personally don't need to know that, what it's doing per se. This is the screen that I normally use. I just like the traditional speedometer and the tachometer look. And you know, what's actually kind of cool is that if I put the car into drive, the car in the front shows that it's moving. Vice versa, if I put it in reverse, it would show it moving backwards, which is kind of weird. But like all the little things just work. Like so if you hold down these buttons on the right hand side, it brings up a sub menu, and this is where you can get all the little ancillary details, software updates via USB. You can adjust all these different like modes with like settings within the system itself. And personally, if you have any issues, you can always contact them. They can provide software updates or support files to help facilitate your system. So far they've been very, very good about helping me out when I had an issue or a question regarding this. So if you have any questions, leave a comment below. I really, really love this new look, the new system. It brings a modern flair to it. And I'll leave links in the descriptions, and I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope it helps you. Thanks for watching.